So where the heck are we exactly before I introduce the world to where we are?
We're at Surplus Music in Van Nuys. It's a brand new studio built by Reese Fulber.
Sweet. And I'm here with Burton from a bunch of bands.
Seem to be getting around these days.
And I'm Colette from The Gauntlet. And yeah, we're going to talk about some of those bands, I guess. So City of Fire, right?
Yeah, City of Fire. That's the new one that I recorded earlier this year with Byron Stroud of Strappy Young Lad, Fear Factory, Zimmer's Hole, good old friend of mine. And he had this music, sent it to me last year. He's like, I think you'll get into it. And I believe Byron because Byron and I have very similar tastes in music. And the more I got to know Byron over the years, especially his years in Fear Factory, we become really close. And we have like a lot of similarities. It's really cool. And he sent me the music and it just blew me away. I was like, it sounds like that now. It used to be, some of the tracks were like from Caustic Thought days, which is his original band. And he reacquainted with the drummer and the other guitar player, Ian White, the drummer, and Bob Wagner. No, Ian White, the guitar player, and Bob Wagner, the drummer. And just reunited with them and got this other guy. And they were doing some of their old songs and wrote some new songs. And they flew me out there in February and I recorded that City of Fire album. And we worked out all the artwork and did everything within like 3 months.
Sweet. So did you have like free reign over how your vocals sounded?
Yeah, absolutely. They let me do what I wanted to do. But they were looking for, it's definitely a rock sound, it's like a heavy groove rock sound that you're not really hearing that much anymore. And this sounds so good. They knew I would tear it up. So I sat there with Terry. His name is also Sho Murray. He's the second guitar player. And he's also a producer up in Canada. So I sat with him a lot and we just worked out everything together. And we just kind of demoed every song every day until we came up with some good parts. And we demo them during the day, and then that night we would rehearse everything. So just to test it out, and it worked. I don't know where I was going with that.
This is what happens when you smoke a little pot before the interview. Because I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, fuck, what was my next question? It was right there.
I'm sorry. I told you I was chatty.
Where was I going with that? Oh, I remember. So this is definitely heavier than like the Watchers. The thing. I mean, I was going to say maybe people might expect more of something like this from you. Because I've liked it a lot, actually. The music style kind of, in a way, was, I guess, a little reminiscent of something like Fear Factory or
a little bit.
Stuff that you've done,
Yeah, it has some heavy elements to it, but it really grooved it out. It wasn't trying to be a Fear Factory. They wrote their music. That's what they do. And, you mentioned something that it's heavier than the Watchers, and that's exactly what, it's a whole different vibe. I have 3 bands now that I can do each specific thing, So, if Fear Factory does another record, I can use all that Fear Factory type of stuff for Fear Factory, and then I can save all the love and spiritual stuff for the Watchers, and I can, rock out with, just do different things for City of Fire. Just really take different outlets for everything. So, each band has its own element, and that's what it's for. Just to express myself in so many different ways.
Speaking of Fear Factory and expressing yourself, has it been kind of, I mean, obviously everybody knows there's a lot of shit going on with that. Has it been hard to create? Like, have you and Dino actually like written stuff, or is it all just like a big clusterfuck, or what?
Yes, no, and yes.
Okay, that was like 3 questions. He actually remembered all of them.
Yes, it has been difficult. There's a lot going on, and in all aspects of my life, and this is just one of it, and so I'm just trying to keep it together. But yes, it's been difficult, but it's been very easy to work because it's been an outlet for me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so everything I'm going through, like everything, just the world, how it affects you, and just watching society plus my own personal dealings, it's a good outlet. I need that, and so it's been easy to work. And you know, I try not to pay attention. You know, this is I try not to pay attention to what's being said out there, because the only thing that matters is what I say. So anybody can say whatever the fuck they want, but it doesn't mean shit to me.
But you know what you know.
I know what I know, and I know what I feel.
It's just been crazy because the stories are completely different from like all sides, you know, from your side and their side. It's just not even.
Well, I'm not even telling any story.
But
and I'm not. I'm saving it for what it's. I'm saving it for the important part. So. Yeah. People are gonna keep talking. You can't stop people from talking.
Yeah. Okay. But so back over here.
It's all good.
So what is going to happen with City of Fire now that the album's out? Are you guys touring?
Yeah, we're doing some shows. The first show, it seems right now, is that we'll be debuting City of Fire at the Hellfire Fest.
Oh.
In England.
Sweet.
The same day at Fields of the Nephilim are playing. And that's one of my favorite bands, so nice. Maybe can talk my way into getting on stage with Fields of the Nephilim or one way or another. But yeah, we're gonna do some shows out there in November, and then we're gonna fly back and showcase a show in Vancouver, like November 18th.
So is that kind of what you're focusing on right now, or what is?
Many bands. I'm focusing on everything. You know, you got to make everything work in this day and age. You know, a musician's got to stay busy. That's the only way to survive. You know, no one's buying records. I never made any money on records anyway, so I don't know why I'm complaining about it. But touring, that's where you work. And if you got a good album out, get some shows on you, you know, start getting that way. So as a musician, you got to keep working.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, this studio is for what exactly? Who's working here?
Well, I'm working here with Dino, and we're working on some music. We're recording with Reese Fulber.
Sweet. And that's just, it is what it is? Is it
a
factory, or is it something?
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, okay.
That's for the courts to decide.
Oh, that's a drag, but yeah.
You know, that's the course that had to be taken.
Yeah, we've all heard it. Blah, 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 blah.
But I'll tell you, it sounds fucking badass.
Sweet.
With Gene Hoglan, you know, playing.
Yeah, phenomenal drummer.
Phenomenal drummer and bass, you know, Byron, my buddy, and dude, it's working so good, but it's awesome.
So, sweet. So we're not sure when we'll get to hear that.
Nope.
We have no idea.
No, you will know soon. We will know soon. Until that time, you know, it's not very much longer. Just sit tight.
How long are you going to be out in LA working on this, like indefinitely, or just?
Well, I've been out here. God, I came out here earlier this year. I was here for like 3 months. I have barely been home this year, by the way.
Oh.
I've been home. I was here for just 1 week shy of 3 months, and I went back for like 2 weeks, and I came back. So I've been here almost 2 months again, and I go home on the 18th. We should be done with everything by then. Yeah, I got some, you know, road plans. I'm actually going up to. I get home on the 18th. The next weekend, I fly back to Vancouver, and we film a video for City of Fire.
Oh, okay.
I think it's gonna be for Rising. I think it's Rising.